think we're good on that. Like I said, you can add a teeny bit more reflection if you want in there. Even brighten these up a little bit if you feel like brightening them. You know, more blue. Give them a deeper blue color to help them. That's all good. The specular's good. All right, now the bump. We got to add a bump to the crystals. This is pretty cool. We're going to click on bump. We're going to set it to -30. Click none. Go to noise. We'll set it to 5. Turn the blur level all the way down. Set it to fractal. And we're going to set this up to 0.65. This is like a starting point for you. It doesn't have to be perfect, 0.7, whatever. It's just a starting point. Do a couple renders until you get the right setting. You can either make these little things bigger. I'll show you when I render it. Alright, as you can see, I bumped up that blue color on that luminancy, so it's a little bit shinier than it was before, which is cool. But now this bump, it added chips all in the crystals now. If you see all the little chips there, so the higher this low number is, the less bumps there's going to be. You know, like there may be one here, one here, one here, rather than a group here. So if we lowered this number, they'd be spread out everywhere. If we highered the number, you'd have them in less spots. So maybe a 0.7 would have been good on this one. There's a couple 2 in there. And of course, you know, if you want bigger chips, you can go with like a point or an 8 on that one. And then you get bigger chips rather than the smaller ones. But smaller ones may be fine for this. But that's, you know, that's what that's about. So, you know, tweak that according to however you want it to look. I'll pause this while this renders. Alright, so now we have some chips there. I like the chips the way they were before, so 0.65 would have been fine. That's about it. And like I said, change the size or that low level to adjust the way the chips are. Alright, so that takes care of the chips in the ice crystals. I'll go ahead and set that back while I'm at it. 0.65, it's close enough. You can leave levels to 3. We don't need any detail on that. Make sure the colors stay black and white though. And like I said, the bump has to be a -30, so they go inward. The chips go inward. Let's see. We got that color, that color, that color. Let me pause this and try to figure out what's next. Oh wait, I got it. Select both of your objects now. 2 objects. Well, we'll do one at a time. Select the crystals. Go to the modifier panel, and we're going to add a smooth to it. Smooth. Choose auto smooth, and that's it. Do the same thing for the snow. And we're only adding smooth because that's all we need to. These are like more square type meshes, so we don't, you know, it's not like a face or anything, so it doesn't have, we don't need a mesh smooth or anything like that, turbo smooth. We just need a smooth to smooth out the materials on it, and it smooths out the object also. And now when we render it, things should be a lot more shiny and more reflectant when we do this. So I'll render it and pause it. Okay, now as you can see, now things are more shinier and everything, so I may bump the color for the luminancy level. I may bump that a little bit darker now. Alright, just because it's a little bit too shiny, I think. Maybe the reflectant I think is good, but I'll bring that one up a teeny bit darker, so it's not as reflectant. We'll see. You can adjust that anyways, but that should work because, you know, once we add the lighting and shadows, that's going to change things too, so you got to remember that. Don't make too many big changes. Okay, so that should be good for, I think the materials were set. We got the ice color, the chips, the snow. That's all set there now. What we could do here is we're going to mess up the crystals and the snow a little bit. So we're going to go for the crystals, make sure the crystals are selected, and go to Edit Mesh, and we're going to bring in a noise before the smooth. Okay, and then we're going to bring the scale down to 0.2, and the Z up until things kind of start pointing up a little bit. Okay, but what we need to do is make sure we don't mess at the bottom though. So you kind of have to like get a view to where you can see the whole thing, because we don't want them to come in out of the ground or anything, so you got to be careful there. See, like that, you know, you don't want it doing that, so just do it to where you know it ruffles the top up just a little bit. Maybe go with a smaller scale, I don't know. Not, let's see, just start at 0 and work your way up until everything gets fixed and you just have a point at the top. And that should work good. You know, just get it to where you have something up top, and that should work. And we'll just set smooth, and that'll get that going. Now we got to do, you know, that this way your things ain't perfectly smooth at the top. You know, they're kind of broken up in chunks and stuff, so that's one, you know, that takes care of the top of the crystals. And plus it affects this a little bit too, so you got to remember that. It's not just the tops. Alright, then we go to the snow, select the ground now. Do the same thing, we'll add a noise to that one. This way we'll also get some actual mesh changing in this. We'll go up, maybe bring it down to 0 and go to 0.02 and start playing with the Z like that. You know, just not too much. Bring it up to where you see a change, and then start playing with your scale a little bit. You know, go with a wider scale. Maybe like that. That looks good. And then make sure you zoom out to check out other areas too. The whole thing. Yeah, that looks good. And that'll take care of that. And then we can add our smooth after it. Auto smooth. Just make sure everything's set to auto smooth. Check both of them. Smooth, auto smooth. Okay, they're all set. And now render this now. See how that looks. Alright, that looks good. You can see now there's, you know, it's ripply everywhere. There's noise everywhere. You can add more if you want, less, whatever, but you know how to do it now, so that should help you. And remember, of course, you can change. If you don't like the color of the crystals, don't be afraid to go into the blue, go into the diffuse map, and just play with these colors a little bit. You know, go with a different color. Don't be afraid to do that. Those are just colors that I picked. Doesn't mean you have to pick them. So whatever colors you want to pick for your crystal color to make it look the way you want it to look. Alright, so we got that. Alright, I'm going to go, let me go ahead and do the lighting now. We'll just add the lighting in there. So I'm going to go and just the lights, standard, grab an Omni, open up the intensity, and we're going to only use shadow map for this. We don't need ray tracing or anything like that for this particular thing, because it'll take forever to render too. So just set it for shadow map, go to shadow parameters, and set it to, you know, 0.5 or so. We don't want too dark of shadows in there. You may even want to go lower than that, but okay, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to click on my top viewport here. Get my move tool, go on this viewport, and bring it up. You know, higher than the fortress. Just right, you know, going in my viewports. Not moving. Don't move any of these viewports. Make sure this stays top, this stays left. Don't rotate any viewport. Just rotate the perspective viewport. Keep these the way they are supposed to be. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of move the lighting in a good position where it looks, you know, it lights up my scene. And from my top viewport, this way it's up high, and now I'm using my top viewport to kind of move it in the direction that I want it to shine in. You can also add others in there. Don't be afraid to add more lighting, and you like duplicates. You know, just go ahead and shift click and pull one over on the other side over here. And I'll choose copy. This way, you know, I can turn off the shadows on that one. And turn down, of course, the lightness. So I'm going to probably bring that one down a little bit so it's at a different angle. You know, it's coming